One failure doesn't mean you can't get up, run again. I will never forget sitting in front of PNG those days, PSB today, and the manager said, listen, we won't give you any money because you've got no collateral. I didn't have a house, I didn't have property. So I said, well, you've got to trust in me. I'm here, I'm going to make sure it turns around. We're not failing, but we need money to keep us going. And he actually turned us down. When I saw the opportunity of opening pharmacies here, I sort of said, well, they didn't even teach us business. They didn't teach us anything about accounts or commercial law in pharmacy school. It was all formulas for drugs and medicines. And that's the point of time, say, I do really need a big brother. And I was fortunate enough, unfortunately, this gentleman's passed away some years ago, but he was 20 years older than me. And frankly, I learned a hell of a lot from him. And when I approached him, he had a building construction company, so it was a very odd marriage of a builder, but he had experience in business. He didn't really want to look at my numbers. I did a pretty rough set of numbers through friends of mine that I got help from. His main point was, if you're going to run the business, if you got the passion, I'll back. And I think that's something nobody can steal or nobody can teach you. You have to have passion. Any startup, I'm mentoring about 3 or 4 kids. Well, they're not kids, they're 30 plus, but in my mind they're still kids. And that's what I teach them, is if you got the passion, then I've got the time and to sit down and give my time to book. That's what you need, because it's hard thing to grapple, but more startups fail than succeed. And you just one failure doesn't mean you can't get up, run again. I didn't realize that when I first set out, I never dreamed of where this thing will end up. It was just, the idea is to dream very big. Sky is the limit, but you got to start small. You got to start small and put your feet on the ground, learn and move on. It's like a stealth move. It's got to keep moving on, and then opportunities will come your way. I think sometimes what happens is people read these management books and they want to be a millionaire straight away. Well, it's only small, I'm not going to do it. But you start small. Again, in my management conference, a lot of people pulled out a lot of my photos, wearing shorts and t-shirt. And those days we didn't have laptops, so it was all computer pages, those blue and white ones, me sitting away doing work at 2 in the morning. But you've got to just keep your feet on the ground, stick to the basics. What people see of me and our group today is the good parts. We've gone through cases back in the late 80s. We started in 87, but 2 years later, we realized we've grown too quickly and we ran out of money. And I will never forget sitting in front of PNG those days, PSB today, and the manager said, listen, we won't give you any money because you've got no collateral. I didn't have a house, I didn't have property. So I said, well, you've got to trust in me. I'm here, I'm going to make sure it turns around. We're not failing, but we need money to keep us going. And he actually turned us down. So, we almost went bust, but we persevered. We spoke to our suppliers, got extended credit terms, and we carried on. So, and this is only once. A few years back when we had a major fire.
From the entrance to the CPL headquarters at Garahu Stage 6, the night sky was lit up with the orange color of the fire, and against that backdrop, one could see the thick, billowing smoke. The fire started at about 11 o'clock last night. The PNG Fire Service officers and Aviation Rescue firefighting crew from the Jacksons International Airport attended to the scene. However, the fire could not be contained. NBC National News was informed that the fire continued until this morning, and by 9 o'clock when we arrived at the scene, the building has been completely destroyed, but there were still smolders. The place accommodates the CPL group of companies headquarters and the warehouses of the group's various businesses. Company chairman Mahesh Patel is shocked. He was overseas when he received the news.
But all of last night, it's just been the most horrendous night in 34 years that I've been here. It's just shocking. I don't have too much information now. I'm just going to the site now. Sorry.
The immediate plan now is to ensure the business remains in operation, and from the great loss, Mr. Patel says the company will surely rebound.
Trying to regroup now, because we got hundreds of people working there. We're going to sort them out first, see what's happening. Look for alternate sites. Just rebuild. We're just going to keep the business going. And we'll see how we go. We'll bounce back. We just have to sort the issues out and make sure the stores are open and the stocks are back in and the staff are all okay. Yeah, well, the insurance and the forensics will look at it. Hopefully we'll get something, but it's not going to be in a hurry. So it'll take a lot of time because it was a very big site. I believe everything's rubbled to the ground now, including vehicles, containers, stocks. But something brought me back to sort of say, no, we've got 3,000 employees. We got to make sure that these people are at work, they've got a job. And we almost failed then. But this time I had money banked after working 30 years, so I had to go and recapitalize the company. I mortgaged my house in Sydney, and I said to the guys, it was my wife who said, we had a choice. We could, retire away peacefully or come back and revive the company. And what my wife and kids said to me, listen, you're not going to sit still. You're still young. You're going to go and do business elsewhere. You might as well go and revive what we have built 30 years ago. And that's what made us come back. I feel that, whatever we've done is because of the people we've had. I was in Madang about 3 weeks ago, and this lady, called her Mama Becky, she came in, she was actually not well, but she knew I was in town, so she came to work that day. She gave me the biggest hug, and I was saying, whoa, COVID positive, or not, whatever, we got to be careful. But we didn't care. We gave a big hug. He says, boss, thank you came, because I really want to retire. And I realized she's been with us for 27 years. But, she wanted my approval. I said, Mama Becky, you're old enough. As long as you're comfortable, you can retire. But are you sure you got enough means to do that? Now, when you hear stories like that, that's going to sit there. Any decision you made is going to be determined by stories like that. And there's hundreds of in our organization. We've got a big pool of people who've been with us for more than 20 years. And they become like your children, even though some of them are older than me. But there's a sense of responsibility, cannot abandon. There'll be natural attrition of people either falling sick or getting married, or retiring because of age. But I think you have to have that respect and honor for the people. I think that's key to any success.